Welcome back to Be at Home with the AMA, taking the pulse on what marketers are doing during this pandemic. My name is Steve Heisler. I am the staff writer for Marketing News, and I'm joined by Sarah Steimer, managing editor of Marketing News. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Steve. You can actually change my title to Fiona Apple's #1 fan after this weekend.
If I have time to edit it like that.
There's no time!
Wanted to briefly give a quick plug to visit ama.org/daily, sign up for our daily newsletter. I highly recommend it.
It's come to my attention that other people are very tired of hearing from brands who only want to talk about the fact that they're acknowledging that there is a pandemic. There was this great supercut of commercials that somebody created that's literally just snippets. And it took me a while to even realize it was multiple snippets because they're all so outrageously similar. Gentle piano music, and then like employees like panning over employees as they like.
Our teams are here.
We are here.
We're here.
We're here.
Only 10% of people said that they wanted marketers to acknowledge a situation or express concern. So people are over that. So I guess the most popular response, which came from 44% of respondents, was for ads to include information on the service adjustments or updates that they're making. So that might be store closures, online options, things like that. And then what ranks second at 24% was indicating if they're doing something to help during the pandemic. So maybe it's converting your factories to be creating, PPE.
I just pulled up a quick study that I had read in the past from Sprout Social, which is saying that roughly 58% of consumers want their brands to take a position on the issue no matter what. However, 83% want companies to take a stand, but only if it's related to their products or services, which in this case, they're not taking any stand related to this is what's happening, but this is how our product or service fits in. To your point, it's probably doing these businesses a disservice to their customers to be making these commercials.
Yeah, and it's something that, when I spoke with someone at the National Restaurant Association, one of the main things that he pointed out is that customers want to hear what you're doing right now to keep both you, the customer, and the employee safe. Are you open? What are your options? What are you doing to make sure that everyone is okay who, you're going to interact with? I almost think more companies could be taking a cue from restaurants right now. They've probably had to pivot the hardest because yes, they still exist. A lot of them have stayed open, or at least a considerable number have stayed open, but they've had to change what they do in such an enormous way. When life starts to get phased back in, they're going to have to make really big changes as this process rolls forward. I've been joking that I'm in phase 2 of my isolation. Phase 1 was lots and lots of projects. Phase 2 is mostly just laying on furniture in flowery skirts. That's sort of where I'm at right now. So I feel customers are ready for their phase 2 of what companies are doing.
My question for you, Sarah, and we touched on this a little bit last time, is what if your brand has nothing to do with a service that is related to COVID-19 or is not even in a position in which they are affected by COVID-19? He was saying that brands who are not in a space that has been touched by COVID-19 should still say something. I'm wondering your thoughts on, I'm not a restaurant, I'm not a bar, maybe I just make widgets in a giant machine. Should I reach out to my customers?
I think the time to say something, just simply acknowledging the pandemic, is over. I think if you haven't said something yet, don't say something now. No matter what industry you're in, what you do, you're probably being affected one way or another, whether that's, businesses going down or up. There are some companies that are doing even more work than they did before, just depending on what the industry is. Okay, hot take time. My opinion would be if you're doing better than maybe other industries, if you're really kind of thriving right now, then I think people are going to want to hear about how you're maybe taking those extra funds and donating or something like that. I don't think this is a time where anyone's going to feel like you're pandering by saying that you're making some donations. I think people truly want to hear that. And the flip side is if you are hitting some harder times, people want to hear what you're doing for your employees. Some insight into how you're trying to be a good brand.
I would imagine that if you are a brand and you just have an undying urge to say something during this COVID panic and nothing will satiate you until you do it. I would imagine a short 1-sentence tweet followed up by some more information that takes more action is probably totally fine. I would imagine that consumers aren't going to feel like the brands are imposing themselves on you. It's just kind of a gentle reminder. That to me feels like a strategy that may appease other people in your organization that feel like they need to say something without making a big stand and putting yourself out there to potentially face criticism.